Yo, what is up, all my wonderful people out there? It's your boy Dread Zero, and today I want to talk about Jamie. I've been playing a lot of Jamie lately. I've been really enjoying my time, but there's a few things that I feel like Jamie is lacking and that could be buff in order to make him a really good character. I'm not saying he's weak right now, but I'm saying these are just some potential buffs that I feel like can make Jamie an overall better character to play while without taking all of his weaknesses. I do not believe in removing the weakness of characters to make them stronger, but this will just give him overall quality of life changes and also give him a better chance in some matchups, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. So Jamie is a character that has been considered low tier at the bottom half of the cast for pretty much the entire lifespan of the game. At the very beginning of this game, like season one, he was boo-boo garbage for an entire year. He was just pretty much unplayable, and I don't care what anybody says. I didn't even play him back then, but I could tell he was just not worth your time. But over the course of multiple patches, and now we are halfway through season three, he has received some quality of life changes that I think has made him an overall better character to play, and I think he's pretty viable. Obviously, and if we're talking about pro play, that's a different discussion, but just for like rank purposes and stuff like that, and just having a good time, he's really fun. However, most of the buffs have been to the drink mechanic, like, getting drink off a throw, forward throw, getting drink off a sweep, stuff like that. But there are some changes that I feel like could make Jamie stronger without making him broken, like Ryu and some other characters. But this will overall make it better for him in certain matchups without completely turning the tables. So the first change that I want to talk about is, OD Palm, this move right here. So before we get into it, okay, there are Tiger Knees, there are Spiral Arrows, there are Scissor Kicks, there are Burn Knuckles in this game, okay, and they are all pretty much meterless. Sorry, I got a little mad, okay? They are all pretty much meterless. And being meterless is for those kind of moves to just completely like skip neutral and just kind of smack your opponent in the face, and it's really hard to react to. It's crazy, all right? It's crazy. Jamie, on the other hand, has to spin meter for this move, okay? And the problem with this move is that this move loses two lights, buttons in general, like heavy punch stuff, but my problem is that this button loses two lights pretty consistently, and it's very, very annoying. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to switch to Ryu, and I'm going to have Jamie on the other side. And Jamie is going to do OD Palm, and I'm going to stop the OD Palm with a light button on reaction. And you'll see how tilting and infuriating it can be to use this move. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Oh, stopped it right there. See, stopped it right there. And like, obviously, like, if it's a little closer, it's a little harder. But like, I'm literally consistently stopping this with lights. It's very annoying. Jamie is spending 2 bars of meter in order to use this move. First of all, this move is still minus on block. Okay, he cannot make this move plus in any version, no matter if he has 4 drinks or not. This version of Palm will always be -3. Jamie is losing 2 light buttons consistently on reaction after spinning 2 meters. Meanwhile, you got like Spiral Arrow and Tiger Knees just completely beating these moves. Burn Knuckles, like, you cannot mash lights on these moves, at least not consistently and on reaction. And so I think the first buff that Jamie should receive is that Palm should just straight up beat light moves, light buttons and stuff like that. I'm not trying to make him broken. I'm not trying to get it to the level of those other moves that I mentioned. But if I am spinning 2 bars of meter where the other characters are not even spinning meter on these moves, I should be able to beat light buttons. Now, if you want to make medium and heavy punches consistently still beat this move, whatever, but like light punches and light kicks and stuff, no, that is not fair to me. I think Jamie needs to be able to just completely dominate light punches and light kicks and stuff like that because he is spending 2 bars of meter. So changing this option will allow Jamie to close the gap, because he does have a hard time in neutral closing the gap on certain characters and stuff. Not even just because of fireballs, but just like normals and stuff stop him from doing that. And then you try to do like palm, OD palm again, where you're spinning meter, and it just, it just straight up just like doesn't work, because characters are just beating the moves. So with their light buttons. So first change, please make sure that, please make OD palm no longer lose to light buttons, especially on reaction, because that would make neutral with Jamie a whole lot better, and it would make it a lot more satisfying, a lot more fair to use 2 bars of meter for this move. Okay, that's the first thing. All right, so the next thing is that Jamie has a huge issue dealing with characters that have a fireball. He doesn't really have a way to like go through them. Yes, if he has one drink, he can go over them with dive kick and instant air dive kick and stuff like that. But it can be very risky, especially because instant air dive kick can still lose to lights as well. You can still anti-air it pretty consistently. I think it's a pretty strong move, but it does have its weaknesses. And the other move that is designed to go through fireballs is, I believe, it's called Bakai, but I just call it breakdance. Using this move puts you at a lot of risk, especially if you cannot cancel into level 2. One of the good things about Jamie is that you can cancel this move into level 2 to save yourself on block and stuff like that. So if your opponent were to, let's just say they blocked after fireball, which consistently happens, especially if they have good fireballs like Akuma. So I'll have Akuma shoot a fireball real quick to show you what I mean. So I think right here, okay, so I'll show it. So right here, you can't really use it. They have time to block. Even like right here, they have time to block here. And then once you start getting like right here, they can't really do it anymore, which is really good. But you have to be up close. Nobody is going to throw a fireball right here. At least nobody smart is going to throw a fireball right here, because they can get jumped in on. And it's just like kind of dangerous depending on how minus it is. Like a lot of fireballs can be like -5 to -7, and Jamie could like punish that with his light punch Rekka. So a lot of times they'll zone you out and they'll put you like right here, and you'll have like a hard time getting in. And they can like block that. Luckily you have level 2, so if you do this with level 2, you're good. You can like do heavy punch into like Rekka, and be safe -3. However, if you do not have level 2, it is a huge risk to use Bakai, even at this distance, which is the distance that you typically are at most of the time with characters that have fireball. So what I recommend here is that they make it to where maybe instead of the startup being like, for example, let's see, OD startup for this is 21 frames. Maybe they make it like 18 frames, maybe even 17, so that way you can reliably use 2 bars again. You're getting a lot of Jamie's tools that are good. You're using the OD version, which means you're using 2 bars to do it. So I think maybe it should start up in 18 frames. Like I said, it's already pretty decent when Akuma does it right here. Like he can't do it right here, but like right here, it's like really difficult to do it because people have time to block. Mostly because of the requirements it takes to even get this move in for it to work. One, you have to be at level 2 drinks, which is not always happening. Like you can definitely get it easier thanks to the buffs and quality of life changes that Jamie has received, but it's still situational. You have to be at the correct distance, which is like right here. The third thing is that if they do block this move, you have to have level 2 available in order to stop yourself from getting completely punished by it. So there has to be 3 requirements in order to properly use this move and safeguard yourself. It can make things a little bit easier against fireball characters, and that doesn't make them broken because you're not changing any of these. You're not changing the regular versions of these moves. You're spinning 2 bars, and it will make people think twice about throwing fireballs at Jamie. The last thing that I think could definitely buff Jamie to make him a strong character but not a broken character is to give Jamie OD drink. How Kimberly has OD can to fastly replenish her cans. I think that having an OD drink will allow Jamie to get a drink, and it will allow him faster recovery, so that way he can stop incoming drive rushes. I don't want him to be plus enough after OD drink to be able to like drive rush in or like get any like serious Oki off of that, because the point of Jamie is to give up your Oki in order to get a drink to become a decent, stronger character. I think just having OD drinks will allow him to have enough time to stop drive rushes in, or to be able to think about what his opponent could do to him after coming in. So I think OD drinks would make things a lot better. Obviously, you have the OD Rekka that allows you to drink and be like +1 on hit here. So that allows you to be like +1 on hit, which is really good for the corner and stuff. But like when you're like mid screen, you don't really use this. You don't use this, and it doesn't really give you enough time to like think about it. I think OD drink should be like +3. That will give you a little bit more time to think about what your opponent can do, and it's just really cool. Like if you are in neutral and you're going, because characters, the thing that makes Jamie like really hard is that certain characters kind of like make him like almost unusable. Like Aki, you can't really fight Aki until you get to level 2 drinks to get Bakai to be able to even consider going through fireballs, which you will get punished because her fireball is slow, and so she will have time to block. But you really just want to have like dive kick, right? And to be able to have your Rekka, you get that level 1, but you'll be able to have your Rekka with the breakdance. But characters like that, like Akuma and stuff like that, you kind of typically want to get to drink level 2, and so just being able to like sneak an OD drink and be like +3, which would be like really really good, or just be able to kind of figure out what's going on and kind of make yourself a stronger character. I mean, you're spending like the whole thing with Jamie is that you're spending 2 bars to unlock what they consider powerful moves, but I just consider them okay. Like I think instant air dive kick is really strong, but it can lose to lights. But my biggest issues is with OD breakdance not being frame 1 invulnerable, because if you are right here you get it, but if you're like right here you're not going to get it, and they will be able to block, and if you don't have level 2 you're screwed. So these are the 3 changes, the 3 buffs that I think can make Jamie a really strong character. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think they will make him strong without making him broken, because I don't want him to be broken. I don't like when characters are broken. I don't like when characters don't have any weaknesses. So let me know what you think below in the comments. I really appreciate you all watching my video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Your boy be out. Peace.